Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a get ready with me, and we're going to jump straight into it because I didn't really do an intro. So the first thing I'm putting on is a lip tint. I think it creates a nice base color for my lips. Not too sure if you've seen those liner tints where you put them on the outer rim of your lips and it creates kind of like a lip line. That's kind of what I'm doing with these lip tints. And I leave it for about a minute or so and then I'll just rub it off, or dab it off, and it just leaves a nice base color. Also applying some lip balm on before my makeup application so that I don't have crusty lips. Yep, so the next thing I'm putting on is just a milky serum. This one is from TBH Skincare. It's their Skin Milk, I think. And this one just is a really light kind of serum so that it doesn't clog up my pores. For my foundation, I've been in love with this Dior Backstage foundation. I'm in the shade 2OW, which is for olive warm or warm olive. And I'm applying it with a spatula. I feel like my skin has been so dry that if I use a buffing kind of motion, it kind of gets underneath all my like dry patches, whereas this method you're kind of just gliding the formula onto your face and then just lightly dabbing it, which is what I'm doing here. And I feel like the application is just really, really seamless on my skin when I do it this way. So highly recommend for dry skin girlies. Onto the next product, I'm using the Fenty concealer. Sorry, I'm not 100% sure of all these names, but I'm in the shade W220, I think. Um, and what I just do with this is I put it on the back of my hand, rub it into my palm so that it can warm up a bit and kind of melt, and then I'll just dab it under my under eyes. All right, the next product is the Makeup by Mario Skin Finish. I believe I'll list these shades down in the comments, and all the products that I'm using because I'm not 100% sure of the names. But I'm just using this to warm up my complexion. So I just go around my cheekbones or just under to create that contour, on my temples as well as my jawline, bringing it down to my neck. I try and stay within the contours of my neck to create that shadow. Next, I'm going in with a smaller concealer type brush, but I'm still dipping into the bronzer so that I can slightly contour the nose. I'm not a professional with the nose contour, I just like to shade around the high bridge of my nose, as well as just underneath the nose to create a little shadow. So the next product is blush. I am going in with a cream blush. This is the Tower 28. This is in the shade Power Hour, and I feel like it just gives a lovely sun-kissed kind of flush to the face. I also like to bring it up towards my temples and around the tail end of my brows. I feel like it just gives it a more seamless kind of blend. The next product I'm using is a powder blush. This one is from Rom&nd, and I think this one is called Pink Nude. I really like to stack my blushes. So the next blush I'm gonna pack on top is from About Tone in Charming Rose. And I like to tap this just on the center and across the nose area. Okay, moving on to highlighter. I've been in love with this Dior palette. This is in number one, and I'm just dipping into the pink as well as the white. Just applying this to the high points of my cheeks as well as the nose bridge and the tip of the nose. Moving on to eyeshadow, the shadow base, I'm using the Fenty primer. This dries very, very quickly, so you have to really blend out super, super. For the eyeshadow palette, I'm using the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes, the second release, so it's more cool toned, and I'm just dipping into MN2 and applying that all over my base. Then on the outer corners, I'm just dipping into MN6. I like to apply it very, very slowly, just so I can make sure that it's even and it's blended out nicely. Um, and I'm just getting a clean, fluffy brush and blending it out. I'm going in again with number 6 and just deepening that crease. Now I'm getting a flat shader brush and I'm dipping into black, which is MN12, and just creating a little flick just on the outer corner for the wing. I like to rub it into my lash line so that it can just be a little bit more seamless. And here I just get a cotton bud, quickly clean up the edges so that it's a sharper wing. I did curl my lashes really quickly. I really only need to curl one eye. And the last thing I'm doing is just popping on some mascara. This is the Clinique waterproof mascara. I've been using this one for years and I'm totally in love with it. Moving on to the brows, I brush it out with a spoolie just so I can see the shape of my brow. And then I'll go in with this Maybelline Builder Brow and draw hair-like strokes just lightly because this product is very, very pigmented. And I'm just doing little flicks to create that shape and that fullness. Then I'll go in again with the spoolie just to brush it out and make sure that it's all nice and shaded. I also used a cotton bud to clean up the edges as well. Here I'm just going in with the gel that it comes with. I personally don't mind this gel. I feel like it holds adequately, but in saying that, my brows aren't super, super oily. Now going in with the setting spray, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, and I'm using the VT setting powder, going in with a small fluffy brush just to press the powder into my oilier areas, which is usually the T-zone and under my eyes and my smile lines. Now onto the hair, I keep it pretty simple. I slick it back and tie it into a little bun. I do pull out my fringe areas just so that I don't look bald. I'm also loosening some of these side areas just so that it can cover my bald patches that I'm getting as well. Lucky last thing, I'm just lining my lips with a lip liner. I'm using two, one for the outer edges and one for the middle. And that's the look. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!